But so often I'll get in this interesting race called life. And then the next thing you know, I'm back to 24/7 again. And I'm like, how did I get here? But what I have to remember is I operated in that platform for so long that I will speed up automatically. I'm like a race car. I can go from 0 to 60 in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Build $1,000,000 legacy with purpose.
Today's conversation, one memory, one shot, resurrecting the moment. I think it's a lot in that title. And like, there are so many things that happened over in the course of the week, of this just past week, and thank you for referring that movie to me, Lucy. I had seen it before, but I hadn't seen it in such a long time. And that just raised my vibration of like what this title means to me also. So we never know where it's going to go.
That's it.
So let's just get started.
That's it.
You ready?
That's it.
So, season 3, episode season 3, episode 8.
8.
Take 1. Here we go. Take 1. We've never done that part. So
We've never done that because you know why? No do-overs.
Don't do any do-overs, right?
No do-overs.
So this is so good. For everyone who don't know, we want to welcome you to season 3, episode 8. And for those of you who already know and have caught up with us,
yes,
this is going to be an amazing conversation. As always, we don't know where it's going, but we're going to do some things here that I know that it is going to give you a value add of how you can move forward into this particular conversation, in which the title is one memory, one shot, resurrecting the moment. And don't get it confused. Yeah, the whole resurrection part came off the back of Easter or Resurrection Sunday. You know, Tamiko, every time someone was telling me that this Sunday, Happy Easter, I was feeling a certain kind of way. Because what I have come to know is not Easter, it's Resurrection Sunday for me. And how I look at it, because Easter was my childhood days. Resurrection Sunday is the person I have became in order to walk as a king of the king in his kingdom. And I'm so sure Jesus wasn't using the word Easter.
but let me speak to that. I want to speak
Please
to
do.
I
Please
want
do.
to speak to that because you said something very powerful in that. You said, I have come to know. And Easter was what I knew in my childhood. And what I think is when it comes to Christianity, we are all God's children. So, based on the timing in which we understand the sacrifice, okay, and it's usually after we have been through some sacrifice that we understand how we are saved because we ourselves have resurrected a time or two or or maybe even 4 in my case. Okay. So from that, it does sound juvenile or, cute to say Easter. But when we understand resurrection, because some people will say resurrection, and then there's others of us that will say he has risen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has risen. Okay. And
Yeah.
I can attest to the fact when I used to get that from people, resurrection, oh, I stand corrected. Okay, I didn't know. Right.
Yeah, he has really, he has.
Okay. And so I say this that it really resonates powerful for me because we had Easter Sunday, and we had a lot of we had not a lot, but we had quite a few young people in the church, and we had a group of young people that probably haven't experienced church. Um and what was interesting to watch some of the elders in the church turning up their nose when they don't know church culture, they don't know protocol. So just going over, tapping them like, okay, during this part, you might want to know this, or doing this part, and let them know
Yeah,
instead of making them feel stank because but what the best part was, they got so excited and felt that word so much that we had one join with her baby. So
nice.
what's important. But I think we have to show a little grace, because people just have not matured. And
Yeah,
if they've experience any kind of church hurt. I mean, I know all these churches out here are amazing, and none of them hurt people intentionally. That don't
yeah,
mean it don't happen. So I really feel that it takes that really getting deep within yourself, with your own personal study and with your own personal experience with the divine, with God, or with a Christ centered, or whatever, and I'm going to say whomever or whatever in a higher elevation that you believe in. In our case, is Christianity,
mhm,
and in allowing that space for understanding and acceptance, so people can grow. Because like I said, we're talking about as late as maybe even 15 years ago. Okay, and I
yeah,
had to take the steps from Easter Sunday. Now I've been way over Easter baskets and Easter bunnies. Okay, but
yeah.
from Easter Sunday to Resurrection Sunday to He has risen. It's a
Mm-hmm.
process.
Yeah,
And I think some people regress and go all the way back to Easter when they didn't get an Easter basket. So now they mean, and that's just me being petty, but I'm just saying because people they forgot He rose.
yeah. And that was just a prelude to the conversation. So get it. So here's where we are. So now let's move in. Thank you so much for exegeting that for us.
You're
I
welcome.
think I think you're amazing, and your ability to do that part. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I am Dr. Marnita on fire, and I am an achievement and a performance coach, and we are having convos for your calling under the umbrella of Build $1 Million Legacies with Purpose. And yes, we are coming to the end of our season 3. This is uh, episode number 8. And we did mention the title of this conversation just now. So just in case you missed it, it is One Memory, One Shot, Resurrecting the Moment. And if you actually give yourself an opportunity to think about that, it's a lot in that title alone. And I'm
Yeah.
so excited to have this conversation with my co-host, none other than, take it away, girl.
Hello, you guys, everyone. Tamiko will be Jay here, and I am super excited about this title. I am a spiritual teacher and coach and mentor. I'm probably sometimes under the modality of a Reiki master teacher, but this one is really resonating with me. Okay, so I'm excited, and here we go.
Here we go. So when I thought about this, Tamiko you planted the seed for me. We were having a conversation the day before. And you said this word rise. And if you have been listening to our conversations in the past, I take words are seeds for me. And before I get off the phone, Tamiko, I told you I'm a sleep on that one. And this was
Yeah.
Saturday night. And so when I woke up Sunday morning, that title is what came to me before I even got out of the bed. And so I said, there's something to this. I don't know in totality what it's going to be, but I like the rhythm of it. I like the cadence of it. I'm liking the way it's sounding. So I texted to Tamiko right away. And when I think about memory in one shot, we go through a lifetime of moments which brought about resurrecting the moments. And oftentimes, probably close to 100% of the time, we don't even give value to any one of those moments. So as soon as we have a moment, that one is gone and the next one has come. Like you never really truly get to live in the moment unless you're rising. Like everything occurs in vibration. And Tamika, you would know a lot about this because that's what you do. Like when you're able to raise your level of vibration to a certain point, what you see down here, you don't have access to what's up here, because lower vibration and higher vibration allows you to become aware of different things. It just depends on where it is that you're residing. So when I think of resurrecting the moment, I believe there's always a story in any given moment. But I think for the most part, we don't allow ourselves to invoke our memory for the one shot of the value add that is in that one moment. What can we learn from a moment to determine whether or not we have an ability to resurrect something out of that moment? Now, what can we find in a memory that's in a moment that we can have an opportunity to resurrect something out of that moment? Because there's a message in the moment. And in that, when there's a message in a moment, the message has a mission. And when the message has a mission, the mission gives you momentum.
Okay.
So where is it? Are we being intentional about the message, which leads to a mission, which gives us momentum? Or are we being swayed by any message that comes our way and just following aimlessly through that message, whether it has anything to do with us or not, following a mission that may or may not even belong to us, and giving us momentum that in which is leading us into a direction that we're not supposed to be even going?
That's good. That's good. And so I'm going to break down what you just said.
I know I said a lot there.
You did. But what it really boils down to, like you said, one moment, one memory. So in each second that we are existing, whatever is happening, we are taking that in. Okay. It can either become a quick thought that only goes past the mind, okay, or a moment can happen where it hits us. Ooh, like if you see something trauma filled, okay, or it can go deeper in a moment. So you're steady calculating these moments, these moments, these moments, these moments, these moments, these moments. One shot, okay, like you said, one shot. Now, what I'm going to add to, and the reason why you sent it to me as soon as I saw it, it got a big giant heart to heart. I was trying to make the heart do the love. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Because in the resurrecting of the moment, now one of my wheelhouses, okay, is meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people will say, this past week, last week, I was able to take another class. You guys know I love classes, okay? And in the class, it was called regression hypnosis therapy. But one of the things that happens, I feel, in hypnosis and even meditation is that, and especially when you set a prayer or an intention. Okay. So if you're not comfortable with the word prayer, you can learn how to probably be comfortable with the word intention. But when you set up an intention or set a prayer to release anything that no longer serves you, some of these old one memory, one moment things that might be sitting there in your conscious or subconscious, they get released. That resurrecting the moment, that thing that no longer serves you, that thought, that whatever it was, in that moment, it gets resurrected and released. And that could be a positive or a negative.
It can be.
Because so often, I don't know about anybody else, but so often I'll get in this interesting race called life. And then the next thing you know, I'm back to 24/7 again. And I'm like, how did I get here? Well, what I have to remember is I operated in that platform for so long that I will speed up automatically. I'm like a race car. I can go from 0 to 60 in less than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
what I also know about that, if you're not careful, you know how many people have died in race cars, and not because of a wreck, but because the car hit a chokehold and it was going at a high speed. And so when the snap came, they snapped their neck and broke their neck. Think about that. So when we're talking about resurrecting of a moment, it's to slow that thing down to get you to recalibrate to these moments, these one-shot moments.
You know, that's interesting that you say that, because what really comes to mind is when you slowing it down, now you get an opportunity to actually clarify, bring more clarity to that moment. And when you can bring more clarity to that moment, now you have an opportunity to rewrite a lifetime of confusion as you move forward. And when that happens, you now begin to put your intention in a place where it can uncover purpose, right? And when you're in that realm of doing things, even time will stand still for you to listen to what you're about to unfold.
To be in it, to definitely be in it. And some things don't take a lot of thought. Now, I find that that's what a lot of people do. The first thing that come up, they get caught on, especially if it's something low vibrating. Why? If you set an intention, if you ask for a prayer of anything that no longer serves me, let it be gone. Why do we have to sit in it? When I go to the bathroom and eliminate number 2, I'm not trying to figure out what part of my day is that the orange? No, that's the apple. Oh no, that's the salad. Am I looking, trying to figure out what I'm eliminating? No. It's eliminated. I wipe, I flush, move on.
You're so right, because we are, for the most part, and I was here before, going through life, whether you realize it or not, you're going through life operating on intention. You may not be conscious of it, because oftentimes your intentions are influenced by other people who are leading and guiding you in a direction they want to go. And then 20, 30, 40, 50 years later, you realize that your entire life has led you up a wall. And when you get to the top of that wall, you look around like, this is not where I wanted to go. Because you've been impacted by someone else's intention.
Right. Yes. That could be true. That can be, and that is true for a lot of people. I would even say that some of that continuing to follow after the age of 30 is out of fear or laziness. Because at some point, you'll start to realize, wait, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
This doesn't feel right. Hence, like, you know, 2, 3, 4 marriages. No disrespect. Do what you gotta do. Different
right.
person, same situation. 3 or 4 careers. But that I believe in because I done that. But I should say 3 or 4 employers in the same career. How about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
And so I feel like what happens then is that I'll just say based on what I've experienced and what I've watched throughout my practice and for myself, it is amazing. And I know I've said this in other episodes, and I probably will say it again. It is amazing to me, Dr. Marnita, how many people are uncomfortable in the silence.
True.
Okay.
Mhm.
In the class that we just had, one of my classmates immediately started with, "Oh, I can't be hypnotized." Okay, well, why are you in the class?
Yeah,
Well, I want to be a practitioner. I said, well, don't you think it's a little interesting that you want to be able to offer this service to somebody else, but you're not open to receiving it? You wouldn't be a practitioner that I would be comfortable with. Because what
yeah.
I'm hearing you say is you don't trust others. So why should others trust you?
And they're not going to trust you.
And so she was like, well, but well, how would they know?
Really?
But you're going to attract who you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had that conversation in the intake part, and it was pretty cool. Because again, you have to listen. We all have to listen. This whole platform that we're on, conversations, combos for your soul. That's what I'm calling it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this started off where we had to learn how to hear each other and have the conversation. If you go back to the beginning episodes, they're pretty interesting. We literally had to have the one moment, one shot, okay, and resurrecting the moment. I was studying us in those first episodes in season 1. And so it's in those moments. You know how many people say, and I've said this before, they can't watch themselves.
Yeah. Or listen to
Or
themselves.
listen to themselves. And my classmate, that was one of the things she said. I said, well, if you're uncomfortable with somebody else's voice, have you tried, recording yourself and recording yourself into a meditation? Well, I don't like my voice. I said, well, you got a lot of things. I should not a lot. I said, well, you have 3 major things that seem to be hindering you for who you are. So of course it would be kind of difficult for someone else to assist you in this opportunity of self-care.
Right.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
what it's about, you're not signing over your whole subconscious or to someone else to manipulate. This is self hypnosis. So starting with your own voice, getting comfortable with yourself and understanding the dynamics of the science behind this might help you or not.
Yeah.
But that's a space that I would say speak to. And we had a successful, session in that. And so she like people who do it with you all the time. So are you a coach?
Right. I'm your coach,
Actually, I
right?
am. Actually, I am, but I'm not gonna lie. I did say, well, right now I'm not taking new clients, which is not true. I'm just not taking certain new clients.
And you will understand what certain new clients mean because she explains that way back in episode.
Mhm.
Oh no, in season 1 we were talking about all about image. Um, and it's pretty amazing as we move forward, Tamiko. Speaking of resurrecting the moment, there are some things that I know that um almost have fallen for me has fallen to the wayside. And when I like look back over my story and I go back through my journey, I pick up things that I've dropped along the way and look at them, evaluate them, which is bringing this movie that you recommended that I watch, watch, and I didn't think I had watched it. The name of the movie is Lucy, and that movie is so amazing. And to watch her, to look at that movie in a different perspective from when I seen it the very first time it was so surreal for me. If y'all haven't watched it, I recommend it as a resource for
It's
you.
about what I think it's about 10 years old, but
It is still relevant.
yes, very
Actually,
much.
I think it was before its time.
Oh,
I don't know if it was before its time, but the movie is really good, especially as it climaxed to the end. In part of this movie, and this is what I find myself doing. It speaks to the percentage of our mind in which we are using. Uh,
yes,
and as you see her accessing more and more of her mind, which is more and more of her potential, like she rules the world. Like, and then she could just sit back. And if you're watching her, she's just sit back and she's so calm and she's just taking her finger, she's swiping through time and she's observing things as they had occurred until she becomes a part of all there is.
exactly.
And I do believe when I watch that, I feel like I am on a journey of becoming a part of all there is, aligning with everything that was created, because all intelligence reside in everything and everything is in intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I think about it on that level, it is so grand.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to even put a thought to that, to attach a thought to that, I can't, because I am just the thought. But the grandness of it all is the essence of who we are collectively.
Exactly. And the one thing you noticed in that, one will notice or can notice in that is she doesn't go backwards. And it's a thriller because it's deep. It takes some weird turns. And I won't say weird, interesting turns. I've watched Lucy at least 5 times.
I
Okay.
need to watch
And
it again.
every single time that I watch it, I get something new. And it was referred to me, by my son the first time I watched it. And I was like, whoa, that was heady. Like, I was like, oh my, like, because it's that intense and the level of the storyline is like, whoa, okay. Um, but what you expressed is the level, the what got me from day one, the first day one, meaning the first time I watched it, was really tapping into that idea because it's not the first time I've heard it, and you're in science, so you understand. But the little minuscule part of our brain that we use, there's so much more to us. And see, what I've done is experience that through meditation, now through certain levels of different type of self-care modalities, and that's why in a lot of and when you get into religion, there's certain things that religion does not necessarily like to tap into, like in the Christian faith, yoga is something that can be frowned upon. But basically what yoga is yoga is allowing the meditation. Yoga is the movement, or the asana is the movement that allows you to get comfortable enough in your body to be able to sit still to connect with God. The average person, once they get over 40 years old, cannot sit on the floor, legs crossed Indian style, for longer than 5 minutes comfortably without a pillow. Comfortably.
Yeah.
So that's what it's designed for, to get you comfortably in your body. Breath work is to teach you how to breathe, because most of us, from the day we were born, you think about it. I don't think they do it as much anymore, but I don't know. I don't birth babies.
Yeah.
Idea that when a child is born, they're brought into the world, they're turned upside down and they're tapped on their butt upside down. Number one, to make sure there's not mucus in the lungs or whatever. But that's how children come into the world in a organ if they're born in a hospital. That's why a lot of women are choosing to do home, like use doulas and having natural births in a pool and things of that nature. So when we look at these different modalities that can bring us to an awareness to get us comfortable enough in the body to experience to get to these levels that will allow us to be able to sit comfortably, to breathe, to clear the mind, to connect with a God-centered space. So often, like, in studying, we talked about this in other episodes. When we pray, we know our voice, but will we even know the voice of God or a Holy Spirit speaking to us? How do we know? How do we know?
Well, one thing I do know is that the Holy Spirit don't scream at you.
That part, say it again for the folks in the back,
Right.
kitchen, for the
The
folks in the
Holy
kitchen.
Spirit
Okay.
does not scream at you.
Exactly. It does not scream at you, right? It's going to speak to your listen,
It's
but
going to speak to your listen.
it's going to speak to your listen. So, it's so powerful, and there's so many tools that we have inside of us that, like they say, that God placed it inside of us so we wouldn't lose it, not so we wouldn't use it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'll say it again, for those that are mature and have experienced that thing called pre-menopause and now are presently in menopause. But in that when that memory gets a little interesting and you looking for your keys and they in your hand, or looking for your phone, and because you talking on it, you forgot. So you looking for it to text. Okay. It's a human nature to forget what's already there.
Right.
Or
You know,
looking for your glasses there on your head,
yeah, I've done it. Oh my goodness. Like I had to pray for myself for real. Like God, like that, because that's nothing but my ego. Like that's when my ego is in charge. Like,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
said, Lord, you need to take this one away from me because apparently, like my ego thinks that is running things, and
Right.
it keeps messing up all the time. And what I've started doing, like in my pickleball play, I'm in a tournament that's coming up, not this weekend, but in the first weekend in May, I'm in a tournament. So I really been, y'all know I play every day anyway, right? So this week I've really been going hard, but
Wait, you play what? Just in case we have first time listeners.
in case I play pickleball every day,
Okay.
every day,
Every day.
except for Sunday. But I play outside every day if I'm in Florida. If I'm in Cleveland or Georgia, that's a different conversation. And so I won't go to that part because that's like a small part of my pickleball. And what I've been doing this week is something different as it relates to me being present on the court, which has a lot to do with this conversation right now, about resurrecting the moment. So as a game, as a strategy, as a person, as a being in the pickleball court, on the pickleball court, being a part of the pickleball court, what I have consciously done is raise my vibration to the point where I can't become the court.
Nice. Yeah, there you go.
When I'm in the zone of becoming the court, And when I know that that paddle in my hand is just an extension of me being a part of the pickleball experience, a part of the pickleball court, I make less mistakes, and I'm at a point where my level of calmness is at a point where my muscles are not tense trying to kill the ball, and that actually what I'm doing is just playing the court because I am the court.
Exactly. That part. That's good.
Resurrecting the moment
Yeah, that's good.
in
That's good.
pickleball play. So I'm taking this lesson, one memory, one shot, resurrecting the moment, and I am practically implementing it in different areas of my life to see how I can engage, elevate, and evolve into that frame of reference of wherever I am at any given time in the moment. Because if I can clarify the story, I can change the trajectory of my life as I move forward, and I'm not moving forward in confusion. I'm moving forward in clarity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that right there is it, you know, clear the mind, remove the chaos, and elevate. And elevate. And then all of that newness, all of that elevation takes us to another level.
Yeah.
You know, when you can experience a situation in real time that would have took you or would have taken us, let me speak on self. I, as of today even, had a situation that could have, you know, escalated, or I'm going to say descended to a low level that I don't even operate in anymore, and was able to be in that in the moment without getting angry, getting my point across very sternly, not getting gaslighted or over talked, or accepting the what is it, the whatever it was staying in a space where we're going to stay at a high level. I'm stretching you right now, the person I was speaking to. I know this is a stretch. I recognize that it is a stretch. Okay. But if it's a stretch that's making you uncomfortable, then it would probably behoove us both if we did not do business together.
Right. Right.
Because this stretch is beyond your reach and is making you uncomfortable to the point that you cannot be in the moment to learn and grow. Stay stagnant.
It's interesting you keep saying that word stretch. And so before we came on here, Tamiko, you know how I am about words. And so I looked up intention because everything it was about as it relates to this conversation is all about setting the intention. Where are you going to put your intention? And so I looked up the word intention. You keep saying this word stretch, and part of the definition of intention is to stretch into
Yes.
something or to lean forward into something. That is where you're putting your intention in that given moment.
Exactly. Exactly. And you think about it, you're an athlete. And in order to be able to maintain the body, right, for high performance, correct, you have to stretch. It would behoove you. You don't have to, but there's a strong possibility that you might, once you go beyond in game, playing game, if you turn a certain way, those muscles, if those muscles, like you said, are not loose, you're having an amazing game because on that court, you're loose, you're learning, you're in it. But what if at any given time you pivot in a way that your body is not used to, the muscles are not used to? If that muscle is not relaxed, it's going to tweak. That's how
Yeah.
a person gets a sprain. That's how a person gets a tear. That's how a person. So, um, so life sometimes is a stretch. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we talk about when we talk about muscle memory, when I talk about polarity movement, okay, life is about stretching,
Yeah.
sometimes out of our comfort zone. But in order, when we're uncomfortable in a sprain or when we're uncomfortable in a tight muscle, what do we have to do sometimes? First, we have to be still, massage that muscle, and then move it.
Yeah.
Usually they'll tell you to elevate it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rest the muscle. Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Rest.
Mm-hmm.
What does rest stand for? Rest, incline, ice. C stands for and elevate. What is C? What is C? Rest, ice, C. It'll come to me. I'm thinking too hard. But then the last part is elevate.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
don't tell you to take your foot and put it behind you.
Right.
They don't tell you to stand up.
Press is compress a part of that? No.
Compress. Compress. Well, is it compress? Is it compress? It might be compress.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But the end of all of that, when you do all of the things, then you have to be still and elevate.
be still and elevate.
Okay.
And when you do that, people like even on the court, like they're in amazement. Oh, that was a great shot. I'm like, that was the Holy Spirit playing like that. I was like, who are you? I'm like, who do you say I am? I'm like, geez, like, who do you say I am?
Who do you say I am? That part, okay. And you're having fun, and that's the
And
part.
I'm having
You're
fun.
having fun, and you're in your element, and you doing your thing, and you rocking the court. You may make it look easy, and if it don't look easy, it will look stylish.
Well, yeah, that part too.
That part.
They call me the pickleball fashionista.
I bet they do. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Oh Lord, like that was never me as a person growing up through school, like grade school,
Well,
junior
that's
high,
when other
high
people
school.
were buying your clothes. When you became,
Girl,
listen,
yes,
okay?
yes,
Talk about it. Now you
yes,
are in your 100% unapologetic self.
yes.
You're gonna be who you are. You know, it was so funny.
Like
Because
they be saying, well, how many outfits do you have? I said, how many did you see? They say, I don't, they like 50. I say, that's who you say I am then.
okay, how you say? I don't count them. I wear them, baby.
Right, right,
I don't count them.
right,
But
right.
yeah, it's so funny because there's still a beautiful tomboy in my spirit. Okay. And so it was so funny. This past Sunday, you know, and I've kind of deemed myself like the production ministry. I don't know if people have that, but it's me. Like, it's like we got an operations person. Okay, whatever. But in production, I'm like, we gonna get it done. So of course I got on my cute little dress for Easter and everything. And then I had bought these new shoes that did not work. I was like, oh, I'm glad I brought my back up, put my shoes on, and I'm running around doing what I do. That's just what I do. And at one point I had to catch myself because I'm like on one knee doing my thing. And I'm like, girl, you got a dress on. Let's get this together. But it
Right,
Dusty start complaining.
right,
Okay?
right.
But I had to laugh at it myself because I'm in my element. I'm doing my thing, right? I'm being who I am. And it's like, no disrespect. Look, okay, he has risen. We in the house. We got guests. The show must go on.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
That part. And it's like, so what exactly do you do? Get it done.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I get it done. That part.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And have not had to claim anything. Don't claim it to the point now that some of the deacons or the male elders in the church, oh, Tamiko does a lot behind the scenes. Oh, you see that now. A year later, wow, good for you.
You're right.
Yeah. How can I help you? Stay out my way.
Stay on my way. Right. Right. That's so good, Tamiko. You, wherever you go, what I have learned about you over the past, like, little bit more than a year now,
Mhm.
is that you bring so much value to the table. That's it's like this buffet. Like, okay, what
Thank
part?
you.
It's like, what part do you need? And
Right.
you lay it out in such a way that is edible and digestible.
Thank you.
Everything that you eat, like you can eat a lot of things, but a lot of things certain people can't digest.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you for that. I appreciate that because what I also do, okay, um, I don't ask for permission. If there's something that needs to be done, I do it, but I will take full ownership if it's not done correctly. Okay. There are certain things that I recognize, and maybe that's the gifting of intuition that I have, but I don't ask for permission because sometimes in the moment it needs to get done. It's not, we need, okay, can we have this? Can we do it? Let's get it done now. And
Yeah.
my why. So, why did you do that? Here's why. And I would say 98, it's a higher than that, 99.5% of the time, it was the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because oftentimes I find like people, and even in their own personal life, if it is pertaining to them, who are you waiting on permission from? Sometimes we miss opportunities because the opportunities come and we slept on it,
Yeah.
waiting on information. You asked for something, here it is right here. Who are you waiting for to give you the okay?
I love what Tamiko does because she do take you through the memory part of this conversation, and she give this is a disclaimer. So I'm gonna attach it. She gives you one shot
Only.
only. So don't listen, child. Listen, just listen.
What'd you say, child?
Oh, just listen. Don't think you get more than one shot with Tamiko because she's there to assist you in resurrecting your moment.
That's it. That's it.
But if you miss it, she has no problem with walking away.
That's it. You know, something just came to mind when you said that, Marnita. Thank you. Okay. I think about my little goddaughter again. And a lot of little kids are like this. But you know, when you're trying to help them with something, they don't like that word help. They'll say, I can do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Say to a kid, 2, 3, 4 even, let me assist you and show you the first time. That's different. She will always accept the assistance. She will not accept the I'll help you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So imagine that. Even in a child mind, that word help is like,
yeah.
But when she feel in her feelings, she be like, help me. Okay, but she done broke all the way down at that point.
Yeah.
But
How old is she?
she's 4. This was when she
So,
was 4, I should say. Now she's 5. But when she was 3 or 4, that was her. She was like, I want to do it myself.
yeah, but listen to what you're saying. She's 3 or 4. She's 3 or 4, okay?
Mm-hmm.
As a child is more spiritually aware than
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
they have a higher level of spiritual awareness than we do as adults. When we get to our adulthood, we have to work at regaining what we knew in the first place. We have to regain what we lost over time. A child already they come here with full spiritual awareness.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. That right there. And like you say, you study words because words have power.
Yes.
But if you think about it and look at that, and then there's some that will say, well, my childhood was so bad, or I don't even want to remember that. Okay. But you're remembering you,
Yeah.
not the situation, not the drama, not the trauma, but you.
Yeah.
Because there is goodness and who you were as that little bitty child, that's how you made it to the fact or today that you're either listening to this or hearing this or being in the space that you are right now. You were preserved in that trauma in the moment, moved through the trauma to be where you are today.
Yeah.
And maybe today, this lesson, this moment, this one shot is going to bring you to the resurrecting of other good moments. And maybe in the resurrection of letting that moment or that tragedy or whatever that was be gone now.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Okay. Because even in the conversation of today, and I was kind of mentioning to my mother, and bless her heart, the first day she said, I would have cussed everybody out. I said, yeah, I know, Mom. That's why I do this work, because you've been cussing for a long time. Okay. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, and just like I've told you all my life, I don't hear you when you speak like that. Now,
Yeah.
mind you, I can go there, but I'm proud to say that I got through Lent with one of the things given up is a potty mouth. And I would say I was probably 89% successful.
Yeah. Well, even in my presence, because we probably talk maybe 1 to 2 times a week. In my presence, I would put the percentage, because I'm not with you 24/7, but I would put that percentage higher
Thank you.
than what you just gave yourself, just based on our connection and my access to you. So that would be a higher percentage based on
Thank you.
our contact.
And
So
I
yeah,
think
you
it was more
did
towards
so
the
well.
beginning. And toward the end, I was like, okay. And like I said, in just certain situations that's been coming up lately, and it's been fun because I've been coming up with weird analogies or interesting sayings to not say the ridiculous stuff. But like I said, even in today, I love the fact that in that moment where I got triggered, and what triggered me was tone. I'm speaking to this individual that took this tone where I'm just like, and I'm like, hold on. Because now you like Charlie Brown's teacher. I'm not hearing nothing else you saying for the next 15 seconds. And if you count 15 seconds, that's a long time.
Long time.
Okay. I'm still in that tone, that one shot you just took that could take you out dealing with me. Okay.
Yeah. One memory, one shot.
One shot and you won't resurrect. You're dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah. I love it.
Okay. Because we don't play in these streets. All right.
So if you want a practical way, and this takes, Tamika, we were talking yesterday, and one thing you said, I don't think people realize that we do consistently is we work on it. We work at it. We work it. We walk through it. We are it like every day. It's not a one and done. So if I have to speak in terms of practicality, there's these 3 things that has allowed me to be it, to walk in it, to let it work on me so I can express it to you, is these 3 things I'm going to give them, which is 1, intentionally raising your level of your vibration. You get, I think what helps a lot of people in that, you probably would agree, is the mastering mindfulness. That part is so important. The next thing, you have to decide where it is you're going to put your intention, because wherever you put your intention, therein lies your purpose. That's your aim. That's what you shoot. That's what you're stretching into. That's what you're leaning into. You have to decide where you're going to put your intention. And then the third part is tuning into your intuition. That's the voice most of you don't even know you have. Because it's not screaming at you.
It's not. It's not.
It's not. So those three things, raising your vibration, deciding where you're going to put your intention, and tuning into your intuition.
Yes. I want to add to what you said to the second one. Tuning into your, no, that was the last one.
Decide where you're going to put your intention.
Decide where you're going to put your intention. What you were saying, like taking the one shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what came to mind when you said that, because you also said stretch.
Yeah.
Think of a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody has ever shot a bow and arrow, which is so fun. But the more tension that you have on the rubber band as you stretch it back, the further
it goes.
The bow will go. Think about that. The further, so the bow is aimed this way, right? The bow.
Mm-hmm.
And then the straight part is the elastic or the band.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way that the bow goes in there, and that band is tight, and you literally have to hold around the front end that holds the finger where the arrow goes through, and the bow and arrow. So the arrow goes through there, and as you stretch back, and you're aiming at the target, depending on how tight or how strong you've stretched against that elastic, is how far and how straight the arrow will go.
Yeah.
So think about that one shot.
That one shot. And when I think about that, Tamiko, what you just said, that brings about your transformation, the transition in which that arrow, the trajectory of that arrow as it transitions
in motion,
it's going to determine the transformation of your outcome.
Exactly.
So that's so good.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about how we share, and we could call these teachable moments, because I'm a person that I see analogies, like how does that apply? So using these analogies along with the framework, to in the moment. Because when I tell you guys, when this is episode 8 of season 3, we have one more episode coming up for episode 9 to complete 3 seasons, guys. And I want to thank everybody so much. But I can tell you, it's been amazing. And I was talking to my partner here about being able to go and be coached from the stuff that we've done. Watching episodes, because my sister here, she's cold, guys. She does all of the behind the scenes. She's doing the editing. She's doing the what am I trying to say? Transcripts. She's making sure we're on time. She's coming up with the themes, and she's doing the frameworks, and she does all of that. Okay. So together, and that's her wheelhouse, right? And so then we sit down and we brainstorm 2 or 3 times a week. Okay. And this is like, you guys get a piece of the pie. It's like when Nana is in the kitchen and she baking something or she cooking something. Come here, baby. Here,
the bowl.
yeah, come here. You want a little bit of this? You want to try this? Try a little of this.
Yeah.
And you guys, after all this that we cooking up in our own ways, right? We bring these 2 chefs. We like iron chefs of life experience, life spirituality. We iron chefing it up in here. And then we bring these little pieces to you guys weekly, most of the time.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Hopefully you guys are getting a belly full, a mind full. And if it's mind full, then I would suggest that you chill out,
That is so true.
chill out, allow the mind to clear, relax, because we're excited. We got it. We already done tapped in what we're bringing for the last episode. of this season. And y'all, we about to elevate.
Elevate.
Because
everybody, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I know about everybody who has decided to engage in our conversations like these, there's like 3 special things that that you probably don't even recognize that you are, because you are cut to a point where you shine, like you're cut to shine, you're built to endure, and you're made to impact.
That part. Nice.
Like you are all that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just adding some sauce onto what you already are. And I'm excited. I'm excited for us, Tamiko, but I am so excited for everybody who has decided to enroll, engage, and to explore what it is that we are doing here on this channel. And so it makes my heart feel good.
It does. It does. It's exciting. It's exciting. Dr. Marnita and I were talking the other day, and I was in rare form. I was pumped up. I was like, all right, we got to take it to another level.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was like, I'm getting bored. This is, I don't want it to be mundane. We got to take it to another level. And I didn't say bored, but I'm like,
no, she made it clear. I'm like, oh, plan. So let me do a little something here.
And let me tell y'all something. This I can say in 61 years, but in probably at least 30 years. This is the first time, well, probably because I don't accept partners well, but that's no, y'all go back and check that out, all right? But this is the first time, and this is the first time you're hearing this, my sister, that I have suggested something when I'm in my heat of my, I want to do da. And when I tell y'all, within 48 hours, sister had it like, whoo, I was like, whoa, this right here. Like yesterday, I was a little tired. I was feeling a little bit under the weather because I've been pushing it. Guys, when I tell you pushing it to my edge, I'm sitting up there feeling a certain kind of way, got on my cute little night glass that I sit on my nightstand. And I'm just I open my phone. My sister said, wait, I got to take off my glasses so y'all can see this. I was like, I had to get up, get my real glass. Look, y'all, look, wait, like this.
What? Because she spanked me the night before. She just felt like, okay, Tamiko, okay. I'm like, all right, listen.
It must. I didn't even know I came like that, but y'all didn't know me.
She didn't come like that. You know, Tamika got a way about her. Like, who do you say she is? She's the type of person that all she has to do is say a word in a certain kind of way that makes me feel a certain kind of way, and like it's done.
I swear, I ain't never had it come back and be on. I was just like, oh, now I got to muscle up and do my part. Hey, hold on, let me feel better. Where my immunity boost? Hold on, I ain't got time to be sick. Sister and jumped all over this. What is happening?
Yeah,
that was awesome.
The camaraderie
was awesome.
So nice. It's so nice to me, go. So thank you.
I'm telling you, I set up. I'm sitting here. Look, I can pull it out. I went and print. Look, I'm in printing. Hold on, I got it. Oh, y'all.
We have a lot of good things coming your way.
Get ready. Yeah.
But season 3 is 1 episode from being complete, and it is done, and it is good.
And it is good. It is excellent. And I want to thank you, Dr. Marnita. I want to thank all of our viewers, but I truly want to thank our regular viewers. You guys are coming with some great things, and I appreciate the feedback wholeheartedly, because what you guys have confirmed to us is that people don't just want things in a 30-second blur. That you are willing to sit and hear and listen and be fed something that's food for your soul. Okay?
Yeah.
You don't want a snack.
Of course, meal, yeah.
You don't want a snack, all right? So with that being said,
we will see you next week.
See you next week. And thank you.